Welcome to Embedded Controller Lab. Today we'll discuss how to interface keypad with LCD. Before we try to understand interfacing part of it, let us understand the basics of LCD. The LCD that we are using is a 16 cross 2 LCD display unit, meaning that there are two rows and in each row you can display 16 characters. This is the LCD unit. There are few commands that will be using to control the display of display onto the LCD. Few commands are like 0x38, that is hexadecimal number 38, for using two lines and 16 cross 2 matrix. 0x0f to turn on the display and cursor blinking. 0x01 to clear the screen, and 0x80 to bring the cursor to position 1 of line 1. As we move forward, we'll look into more of the commands related to LCD display control. Now let us look at the basics of 4x4 matrix keypad. The 4x4 matrix keypad has 4 rows numbered from R1 to R4 and 4 columns C1 to C4. At the cross section of each row and a column, we have one key that is located. So there are 16 keys located at every intersection of rows and columns. Now, initially, to detect the key pressed, which key is pressed on the keypad, we force all the 4 rows, R1 to R4, to a logic 0 value, that is ground. And all the 4 columns C1 to C4 to logic 1, that is VCC. So now let us assume that there is one key which is pressed at the intersection of row 2, R2, and column 2, that is C2. Okay. So how do we detect that the key at the intersection of R2 and C2 is pressed? For that, what we do is we start forcing the rows R1 to R4 one by one to a value of logic 1, that is VCC, and then start reading the values that are available at each column, that is C1 to C4. Now, when there is no key pressed, the columns C1 to C4 should give ideally a value of ground, because they are actually connected to VCC. Now, assume that there is one key pressed. So you start detecting a value of logic 0 on one of the columns. Start reading the columns from C1 to C4. If any key is pressed, one of these columns will definitely have a logic 0 value, because a certain key is pressed, due to which one of the rows will get connected to that particular column. There will be a short circuit. That is why the column will give a value of logic 0. In this example, at the intersection of R2 and C2, we have a key which is pressed. Now, when you start reading the columns C1 to C4, right, C1 will give a value of logic 1, that is VCC. but C2 will give a logic value of 0 because the key belonging to this column is pressed. Which row we have to identify that row. That is the next step, right? So whereas if you read column 3, you will have a logic 1. Likewise, column 4 also will give you a logic 1 value because none of the keys on the columns C1, C3, C4 are pressed. Now, at this stage, we have identified the key belongs to which column. So in this example, the column C2 contains the key which is pressed. Now it is our duty to find out which row this key which is pressed belongs to. Is it belonging to row R1, R2, R3 or R4? So in order to find the row corresponding to the key pressed, what we need to do is we have to start forcing a logic 1 value to rows R1 to R4 sequentially, one after the other. Initially, we will force a logic 1 to R1, that is row 1, and start reading the value onto C2. Because the key pressed is not belonging to R1, the intersection of R1 and C2, C2 will still give a value of logic 0 only, right? So that means the key pressed does not belong to the row 1. Next, you force R1 to logic 0, then start forcing R2 to logic 1, that is VCC. Now, the rows R1, R3, R4 are driven with logic 0, that is ground, and the row R2 is forced with logic 0, that is ground. But now we have to make it to VCC. Now row 2 will be driven with VCC. At that time, again, you start reading the column value, C2 value. That should give a value of VCC, that is logic 1, because the key pressed belongs to the row 2 and column 2, right? So that is how we actually find out which row and column the key pressed belongs to, right? So now the coordinates for the key pressed is R2, C2. So this is how we find the key pressed and whose coordinates are R2 and C2. So now, anyway, in your program, you are not doing this, but this is the logic behind identifying the key pressed by the user and then decoding that and displaying the value onto the LCD. Okay, now let us look at which are all the ports and pin numbers that we are using in this experiment. Okay, for LCD, we have RS, that is register select, enable D0 to D7, that is to drive the data that you are supposed to display onto the LCD, or use these bits D0 to D7 to issue some command to LCD. So RS is connected to PC12, enable is connected to PC13, D0 to D7 are connected to pin number 8 to 15 of port B, whereas RS and enable are connected to port C, pin number 12 and 13 respectively. D0 to D7 are connected to pin numbers 9 to 15 of port B. Okay, now the keypad column 0 to column 3, row 0 to row 3 are connected to port C, pin numbers from 0 to 7. So you can refer to the ARM controller manual for more details. Okay, so now let us look at the program to interface 4 cross 4 keyboard and display the key code onto the LCD. So keep the program for your reference. So we are including stdio.h, stm32, f10x.h, and some two files are there that we need to include. Keypad 4 cross 4 simultaneous scanning.h. This will actually perform the identifying which key is pressed and give the value to the program. We are using some of the functions that are defined in this header file. So now here we are declaring some integers, right? Then one key variable also we are defining, and we are defining the delay function that you are already aware of it. So it mainly introduces delay, not doing anything. ARM Cortex M3 will simply wait for the delay that you have mentioned, getting into for loop and counting some numbers and waiting for some time to introduce the required amount of delay. And next comes the void command LCD. To issue the commands to the LCD, we need to use command underscore LCD. This is the function. What it does is basically it takes the command throw character command CMD and it enables the LCD and it selects the instruction register. There are two registers in the LCD. One is instruction register, the other one is a data register. So that is why we have register select pin. If register select is 0, it will select the instruction register so that you can write the command to the instruction register and make the LCD to perform the function that you are specifying through the command. So command LCD will force register 0, register select value to 0, enable to 1, and then it will force the value that you have passed through CMD onto the pins of port C, and port C which are connected to register select and enable. So which are all the pins that are connected to register select and the enable? So those are pin number 12 and 13. Pin number 12 is register select, pin number 13 is enable. So that is why we are forcing 0 onto pin number 12, 1 onto pin number 13. Then you shift the data to higher 8 bits because the D0 to D7 are actually connected to pin numbers 8 to 15 of port B. That is why we are shifting, right? P is equal to CMD left shift by 8 ampersand 0xFF00. That will actually shift the command that you have passed through the command LCD, and then that value is actually returned to GPIO output data register so that that data will be transmitted and return onto pin numbers 15 to 8, and you provide some delay and then you disable the LCD by making register select as 0, enable as 0. This is for the issuing the commands. for writing the data to LCD, data onto the LCD, we use data underscore LCD command, which takes the input as unsigned character data, which is again 8-bit. Okay, so you will be enabling the register select, that is data. You have to write to the data register now, not the instruction register. That is why you need to set the value of RS equal to 1, RS as 1 and enable as 1. Then you shift the data that you have received through unsigned char data left by 8 bits. Then you write the value that is shifted by 8 bits to the left to the port B, so that data will be sent on the port B, pin number 15 to 8. So this data, whatever you send, will be displayed onto the LCD. So then you provide some delay and disable the LCD, so that it will not take any more data and display. It will not overwrite the data that is already written onto the LCD. So now coming to the initialization of LCD, there is one more function, LCD underscore INI. It will issue some commands, right? Command underscore LCD 0x38 for using 2 lines and 16 cross-2 matrix of LCD. Command, you provide some delay, and then again command underscore LCD 0x0f, turn display on cursor blinking, provide again some more delay, then clear the screen by issuing the command 0x01, right? This will initialize the LCD. Again, you provide some more delay and bring the cursor to the position 1 of line 1, so that you can start displaying from the row 1, column 1. Again, provide some delay. So this is what is the LCD ENI function doing. Okay. So now let us go to the string LCD function. Okay. So what it does is it takes the string and displays character by character onto the LCD by issuing the data LCD function, by calling the data LCD function. So now it is void string underscore LCD unsigned character pointer, that is T, while not end of the character. Okay, you keep calling the data underscore LCD function and send the character by character and increment that character to the next character in the string. Initially, data LCD will display the first character of the string. Then the pointer is incremented to the next character in the string, and that character will be sent to data underscore LCD. And second character will be displayed onto the LCD. So it goes like this till the end of the string. So this is about the string LCD function. Now coming to the main function, which actually enables the ports, configures the pins and all those things. So the first line in main program is RCC APB2 ENR. We are enabling port B and port C, because port B and port C are used in this program. And configure port C pin numbers 12 and 13 as outputs, because they are connected to RS and ES enable respectively. GPIO B CRH, you are writing higher register of port B to 0x all ones. So that means you are configuring pin numbers 8 to 15 of port C as outputs for driving data to be displayed onto LCD. This is about enabling the port B and port C, configuring the port C pins 12 and 13 as outputs, configuring the pin numbers 8 to 15 of port B also as outputs. Next, we are calling keypad init function, which is there written in the header file. It will initialize the keypad. Then you are calling LCD underscore INI to initialize the LCD. This function we have already discussed. Command underscore LCD 0x80. It will bring the cursor to position 1 of line 1 again, and then you send the string that you want to display. In this case, in this example, we are displaying tenet tech. So when you use the function string underscore LCD bracket within the double quote tenet space tech, so tenet space tech will be displayed onto the LCD in the first row, that is first line. Then you will issue the command to bring the cursor to the next line. Okay, so for that we are issuing command underscore LCD 0xC0. This will bring the cursor to the next line. Then you display press key onto the second line to prompt the user to press a particular key that he wants to display onto the LCD. Okay, while true, meaning that forever, key is equal to keypad get key. Keypad get key is the function which is written in the header file, which will get the value of the key that is pressed by the user. Then it will check if the key pressed is valid. If it is valid, then it will issue the command to go to the next character on the second line. After displaying press key, no, it should go to the next column position to display the value of the key that is pressed by the user. So once you issue the command 0xcc, you call the function data underscore LCD key, which will actually pass the value of the key that is pressed, so that the LCD can take this value and display onto the LCD. Then you provide some delay of 5. Okay. So this will provide some delay. So that ends the program to display, identify the key pressed by the user and display the value of the key that is pressed onto the LCD. So we have 4x4 key. So you can identify the keys as 0 to F. F meaning 15, that is hexadecimal number, 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 9, then followed by A, B, C, D, E, F. So there are 16 keys numbering from 0 to F in hexadecimal. So this is the end of the keypad experiment. So for this experiment to understand, you please refer to the manual or the PowerPoint and go through this explanation. That will help you to understand the program. Thank you.